It's all coming up Birdie!
What is good, fellas? Panda here, and today we're going to be reliving a classic, if you will, Killer Instinct 2013. And let me tell you something, this game is filled with nothing but weirdos, so I'm going to come back to this many a times, not just this one time. And if you guys enjoy this video, let's try to get over 100 likes. Be sure to like it up. I want to see how you guys actually like the content. And if we do that, I'll post some turtles. But before getting into the trappler, the evil as hell zoner, we have to talk about Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct is one of the coolest fighting games I've ever played in my life. It takes the old formula of Killer Instinct, modernizes it to a big, demographic, and it has an amazing OST, fantastic system mechanics. It is one of the premier fighting games in my mind. I can't go over all the mechanics, but it's important to go over the important ones. Killer Instinct is a 6-button fighter, a lot like Street Fighter, where it's a light punch to heavy punch and a light kick to heavy kick. There's a lot on the screen to play about with, but it's like your usual link system, button into special, but with Killer Instinct you want to go back and forth between the buttons and the specials. That's how infinite combos work in this, and then there's the combo limit that you get to go wild with. You have a shadow meter at the bottom left, which is basically your super meter. When that is full, you can do an enhanced version of a special, aka your super. It's like the super mechanic, it's simple as. And then you've got the instinct mechanic, which is rad as hell, which is taking a character's gimmick and then giving you an install where that gimmick is available the entire time. It is so fun to mess about with on some characters. But the main mechanic of Killer Instinct is the combo breakers. This is what makes the game super interactive, because there's never a moment where you want to put down the controller. You need to press the right strength to match the combo breaker to escape. However, counter breakers exist, where if they read the combo breaker, they'll counter the combo breaker and break the combo breaker. Don't worry about it. However, if you go for the counter breaker when they didn't do the combo breaker, then you're whiff punishable. So there's a main game going on there. Again, it's a super interactive fighting game where even the combos are interaction. It's all about guessing and playing and interacting through reads. And then there's the ultras, which is just a rad as hell fatality that's hype as hell. You get creative and you get go wild. But that's plenty for the summary. It's time for the mummy. This mummy is plenty scummy. A zoner that also grapples for some reason. This sadistic mummy is one of the few bad guys of the game, and when I mean bad guys, he's one hell of a sadistic guy. A dead man cursed with immortality, a classic to be sure. He was left to continue his research and studying across this world, killing warriors to take their souls to experiment on like a sadistic evil sorcerer. He fights using multiple tools that are very unique to him, such as the scarabs, sandpits, and oddly enough, his bandages. That's right, the bandages wrapped around his arms act like normals for him, extended to either whack an opponent or grab him. They could do a whole lot. He was designed to be the zoner of the game, like zoner next to Glacius. Glacius could run up close offense, whereas Kanra is nothing but focused on the zoning aspect. He doesn't do anything else up close, he just wants to zone for the most part, as his up close offense just doesn't exist. Story time! As mentioned before, Kanra is of course a cursed cadaver forced to walk the rest of this world as a decaying corpse. He was once an evil man who betrayed his king, the Babylon king. After his betrayal, this king punished him with a dying body that is immortal, basically making it difficult for him to even enjoy immortality. And he started wandering the earth, taking souls for his sadistic little experiments, trying to bring back his prime, if you will. However, coming across Maya, it was revealed that she basically kicked his ass and then locked him away, sealed him within her place. Ultratech being Ultratech, big evil company, would you believe it? They destroyed the city and thus it let Kanra free to continue his evil ways. He does have a rival being an Aganos, the creature that was created as a golem from the Babylon king to put an end to this man's reign, to kill him and end the immortality. But as he goes on the run studying, he's an evil guy. That's all you can really say. Neat story, pretty insane to go with the whole take of immortality, but he's trying to steal souls to bring himself back into his prime, almost like Shang Tsung a little bit. But it's so interesting to see his evil tenacity still go through despite everything going against him. It's very interesting from that regard. But let's get into the toolkit, the best bit. Here we always start with the base movement. That is basically the easiest part to go to explain a lot of the character gimmicks. It's unique because I kind of compare him to Dalsum, where he's a bit floaty and a really slow walk speed. However, his burst movement is a lot like Dalsum's, where it's kinda mad. He has a teleport that allows him to go to sand pits. We'll get into that later. However, it damages him. And fun fact, if you're 1 HP, it kills you. Yeah, have fun with that mental stack. But if he has these sand traps on the floor, again, we'll get into that. If he does a right input, he can actually use it to do super jumps back, forward, or up. So he has a ton of movement available to him, kind of like an anime fighter, where he has high movement and is very quick with the right setup. Well, going from movement to neutral, it's only natural. Let me tell you something, this guy has nothing but neutral. That is his main focus. Every one of his normals are long reaching. Anything to do with the punch button or some of the unique normals will reach to an absurd degree, making it difficult to approach. And some of these normals are actually invulnerable to projectiles, having priority over them is still working against them, which is a madness for sure. And every one of these hits are super confirmable, by the way, so don't be thinking like, oh, he's just getting a cheeky hit and that's it. You know, some of these are a launcher into a full combo. And looking at that jump and medium kick, that may as well be an Axel JS. It's an instant overhead. Have fun with that one, buddy, when he's got the set play, which we will get into. Like right now. Yeah, that's right, he's got the sand traps. Now, what the hell does this do? Well, anything involving heavy kick will set up the sand trap. He'll put it on the floor and it's right there. These sand traps are unique because as soon as you press a kick normal in a certain direction, you gain different attacks through the sand traps. Light being a pushback anti-air, medium being a suction pull in, and heavy being an attack link into a teleport that lets you get a lot of damage. All of a sudden, the set play zoning is in play and it's trap based. It is so nasty to deal with against some characters. But you want to know something? The neutral doesn't stop there, because he had specials that went alongside it, and the spacing traps really kicked in when you start using these tools. You had the monsoon, where if you had the sand trap, it would use it up and then you'd send out a tornado, and if it hit, it gave you a full combo as they came flying to you, and on block it was pretty safe. I think it was your turn. However, the insane thing, if you charge it for 96 frames, that means holding down the button, it's an unblockable. And it's really high up, so you have to time the jump to avoid it. So have fun with the unblockable projectile, chump. And it keeps the same properties as the other thing, so huge combo to work with. So you had that, and then you also had the spike projectile, where depending on the version, made it go further on the screen. Guess what? It set up sand traps. So you had multiple ways to go about it as a zoning tool and something just put in front of you. Just creating pits was the main goal. And his zoning becomes even more unique off of the next thing, which is he does a lot of blue attacks, either being off of unique normals, his throws, or these scarabs. Either of these land on hit, not on block, they'll start putting a blue status effect on the opponent, and when this really kicks in, it slows them down. And when I mean slows them down, it isn't just movement, it slows down the start up of their attacks and the recovery of their attacks. So all of a sudden, some of these attacks are punishable on hit. A lot of these attacks are safe on block, probably punishable on block now. Such a unique mechanic to give to a zoner, might I add, making it so the opponent's offense is just objectively worse. But it makes the neutral even harder to deal with, because all of a sudden as you're slower, he's backing up at a quicker degree because you can't catch up. Making his zoning probably evil. I've never seen this on a zoner before. This is a genuinely evil design from the fellas at Killer Instinct. Iron Galaxy, man, what are you guys doing? What are you cooking? You want to know the interesting thing? Because this guy was zoning base, looking at his neutral, that's also his offense. He isn't trying to mix you up with high-lows, even though he can do that. He wants to poke you away and guess where to do the right pokes. And that leads into the other unique part of this zoner game plan. He had a command grab that reaches really far, insanely far. Carapop Buster put to shame. And he could tick this off of a lot of his normals. Like, it is absurd what you could do with this on blocking into the command grab. And it does lead to a pickup with the sand trap in play. Like, it's an insane command grab. Now, it is reactable at 21 frames, but he also has an anti-air version and a very, very anti-air version where it covers directly above him. You know, this is appealing to the grappler side of me. I'm not gonna lie. Is this a grab video or an odd video? Let's call it Grod. But Zoner has ways to poke at you, slow you down, and also just command grab is. Does he need all that? Does he need all that? Does he? Speaking of his trap gimmick, you got the idea this covers neutral and it allows him to get started into combos, but you want to know something interesting? The instinct meter, we talked about this earlier. When this is popped, it makes it so he can do all of the actions that he could without the sand trap. That's right, so he can set up tsunamis without sand trap, he can super jump without sand trap, and he can just go hog wild without sand trap. Do not let this man get instinct, because all of a sudden, his neutral is disgusting and he's getting away from you. This was simple, but it affected offense and defense so much, because he actually had a DP if he sacrificed the sand trap, and just led during instinct, he always had access to a DP. It does hurt him though, but he always has access to a DP now. This guy has a tough time either converting or turning his conversions into damage. In Killer Instinct, you want to do a normal link into a special for a lot of damage, and with Canra, you can't really do that. If you land a special, it's more than likely the next thing you have to do is have the trap be the follow-up so you can land another hit to maybe link into other stuff. He can't really do that in a lot of interactions that he gets. Kind of making him one of those characters that kind of kills you by 1,000 cuts type of deal, where a lot of his interactions are happening and they're favoured for him, but he has to do a lot. Again, like mentioned before, the DP kind of giving away your health, and his defense isn't good, might I add. His defense is actually horrible. If he gets put into a corner blocking scenario, he either has to rely on universal mechanics or the DP that hurts him. Have fun with that one. But the supers were awesome to see. The command grab version, of course, the command grab, did a lot of damage and had a very fun animation as he slammed you back and forth like a ragdoll. And if he gets this, it does lead to a decent combo. However, the combo breakpoint is kind of very interactable. It's kind of easy to call out. But the main thing that kind of made this guy disgusting when he had Shadow Meter wasn't the whirlwind that allowed him to do combos, it was the spike. This would set up a sand trap. But you want to know something interesting about the sand trap? It automatically picks the response depending on what the enemy does around the sand trap. This is a super sand trap. If they jump, it will anti-air you. If you walk forward, it will poke you. If you stand in it, you get poked even more. In the Jago Canran matchup, Canran could just stand by it and Jago can't do anything, as this is his worst matchup. Yeah, no kidding, like the show having the worst matchup against the zoner is insane. I think Thunder does better into this. A zoner having trap based neutral and a command grab with ways to slow you down is beyond one of the most unique recipes of a zoner I've ever seen in a fighting game. I was recommended Canran like ages ago to cover in my grab series, but I didn't think he suited grab because he's not really a grappler. But you know what he suits? Odd. This is an odd design for a zoner, because not only have you taken the zoning gimmicks, but you just made it evil. You made it evil as... there's no arguing it. This is evil as hell. But that's the design of Canran. Canran is an absolutely despicable evil man that wants nothing to do with you but your soul to turn it into a weapon or experiment on himself. And kind of creating this playstyle that kind of screams sleazy fuck. I love it. It suits the design so well for an odd of a zoner who's genuinely the epitome of evil. This guy is Devil May Cry 2 personified. What a perfect adaptation of a brand new character to the game's lore. And I've said this a gajillion times, when it comes to character design, when it comes to gameplay, Iron Galaxy was one of the best at designing gameplay that really suits a character. How did he handle in the meta though? Well, he was kind of lacking on the defense, as we know, and a lot of his offensive pressure had to be set play. So he was roughly about the low or bottom tier type section. He wasn't your worst character in the game, but he didn't really do that well. So it makes you wonder, who made him work? If you watch any TNS for Killer Instinct, which I recommend, it's a good time. Time to Dull is a fantastic Canra. He has the same fit on every time, and you know what? He experiments with the character and tries to make him work. And he does bits, may I add. He understands how to play the character to a fantastic degree with the set play zoning, and of course poking away and turning these big pokes into huge confirms. And when he uses Instinct, he's one of the most creative users of it. He's kind of disgusting, if I'm honest. Canra is such a uniquely designed zoner in this archetype. When I look at a character like Canra, I can't help but feel disgust, but that's the whole point. If you're playing it, you're a villain, and if you're witnessing it, you're reeling back in horror and shock at what you're seeing. Honestly, looking at this, I'd love to see this type of zoner be adapted again, because you look at it and you think maybe Axel or Dalsum, but having these interesting and intricate set play tools mixed with the command grab and the slowdown, it's interesting. I want to see slowdown interacted with a bit more in fighting games, because this is not a mechanic that's used often. But that is it for today's odd. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I love this one. I love covering a Killer Instinct video. I do. Anytime it comes up, I get excited. But if you guys enjoy, be sure to like, hype, and sub. Let's try to reach over 100 likes. I'll post some turtle pictures in the community tab. You guys have been kind of killing it recently. I want to hear your suggestions for the next odd video. Should Canron be followed up by another Killer Instinct one? I don't know. I mean, I love the game. I don't mind covering it. That game has so many weirdos I would love to cover. That's it for me. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.